What if I told you that the monster you fear most doesn't live under your bed, in the shadows, or in the pages of horror stories, but inside you? Yes, you, the person watching this. You who see yourself as kind, decent, and humane. You who believe you could never commit terrible acts. What if I told you history, psychology, and philosophy all point to the same disturbing truth? Good people, ordinary people, can transform into monsters. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and share this video with someone who believes they are immune to corruption, because what we are about to uncover may shake that belief to its core. Section 1. The Illusion of Goodness. We grow up believing in a simple story. There are good people and bad people, heroes and villains. But philosophers like Hannah Arendt shattered this myth. When she covered the trial of Adolf Eichmann, one of the architects of the Holocaust, she coined the phrase, the banality of evil. What shocked her wasn't Eichmann's monstrous nature. It was his terrifying ordinariness. He wasn't a cackling villain or a bloodthirsty lunatic. He was a bureaucrat, a man who followed orders, who went home to his family after work, who thought he was simply doing his job. Evil, Arendt realized, often doesn't come from rage or hatred, but from blind obedience, thoughtlessness, and a refusal to question authority. So the question isn't whether monsters exist. The real question is, under the right circumstances, could we become one of them? Section 2. The Psychology of Obedience. Let's turn to psychology. In the 1960s, Stanley Milgram conducted a shocking experiment at Yale University. Participants were instructed to deliver electric shocks to another person whenever they answered a question wrong. The shocks increased in intensity, eventually reaching levels labeled as dangerous and even fatal. What the participants didn't know was that the shocks weren't real. The person being shocked was an actor. But here's the horrifying result. More than 65% of participants continued delivering shocks all the way to the maximum voltage, just because an authority figure told them to. These weren't sadists. They were ordinary men and women, teachers, clerks, everyday citizens. They believed they were good people, and yet, under pressure, they caused suffering. This reveals a terrifying truth. Goodness isn't a shield. It can melt away under the heat of authority and conformity. Section 3. The Shadow Within. Carl Jung had a term for this hidden darkness inside all of us, the shadow. According to Jung, every human being carries within them the potential for cruelty, rage, selfishness, and destruction. We spend our lives trying to suppress this shadow, to present only the best version of ourselves to the world. But when we deny it, when we pretend it doesn't exist, we actually give it more power. The shadow grows in silence, and when circumstances align, fear, power, group pressure, it erupts. That's when good people, people who've never hurt a soul, suddenly find themselves capable of horrors. To truly be good, Jung argued, isn't to deny the shadow. It's to face it, to integrate it, to accept that you are both light and dark. Section 4. Historical monsters who were once good. Take the guards at Nazi concentration camps. Many were young men, raised in families, churchgoers, sons and fathers. How did they turn into executioners? Or consider the Rwandan genocide in 1994, where neighbors who once shared food and laughter picked up machetes against each other after propaganda and fear poisoned their minds. The line between good and evil isn't a wall separating us from them. As Alexander Solzhenitsyn once wrote, the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. That's the human dilemma. The monster isn't out there. It's in here. Section 5. The role of society and systems. But let's not blame the individual alone. Systems, ideologies, and environments play a massive role in awakening the monster. Plato in The Republic warned about the dangers of mob mentality. When people stop thinking for themselves and surrender to the crowd, justice collapses. The mob acts without conscience. Today, we see this echoed online. Digital mobs, cancel culture, algorithm-driven outrage. People who see themselves as good can quickly become cruel, hiding behind anonymity, feeding off collective rage. Society doesn't just create monsters. Sometimes it rewards them. Section 6. The psychology of dehumanization. There's one psychological mechanism that allows ordinary people to commit extraordinary evils: dehumanization. The moment we stop seeing someone as fully human, we strip away empathy. Soldiers call enemies targets. Racists call others animals. Bullies call victims losers. Language becomes the weapon that justifies cruelty. Philosopher Immanuel Levinas argued that the human face is the ultimate ethical command. When we truly look at another person, see their vulnerability, their fragility, we feel a moral duty to them. The danger begins the moment we turn away, when we refuse to recognize their humanity. Section 7. The monster within ourselves. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The capacity for evil isn't limited to dictators or soldiers or mobs. It's inside you and me. Have you ever ignored someone's suffering because it was inconvenient? Have you ever gone along with something wrong because speaking up was uncomfortable? Have you ever let anger turn someone into the enemy in your mind? These are seeds, small acts that, under the right conditions, can grow into monstrous ones. Nietzsche warned us, whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. The greatest danger isn't the monsters we fight, it's the monster we might become. Section 8. The path to true goodness. So if goodness is fragile, how do we protect it? First, awareness. Admit that you too are capable of darkness. This humility protects you from arrogance. Second, responsibility. Refuse to hide behind authority, group pressure, or systems. Choose to think. Choose to question. Choose to act with conscience, even when it's costly. Third, empathy. Remember Levinas's command, see the face of the other. When you truly look into another person's eyes and see yourself reflected, cruelty becomes impossible. Finally, courage. Because the hardest thing isn't to fight the monster outside, it's to confront the one within. Conclusion: a challenge to the viewer. So the next time you hear about atrocities, don't comfort yourself by saying, "I could never." Instead, whisper, "I must be vigilant." Because good people don't wake up